Hey, so it's the morning of the first full session that we're gonna have with the psilocybin retreat today. Yesterday we did some microdosing, and I never actually even felt anything. I mean, I was only gonna be like a slight change, but I couldn't detect anything at all. And since I don't have any kind of history of other things to give them a good way to judge my sensitivity on, the only other thing I had was, when I've done SSRIs, and they usually had me on higher doses there because I never really felt it made huge much of a difference either, other than the negative side effects. So they decided that they're going to go with a kind of an upper medium level dose for me to start today, just because it seems like I might not be too sensitive to it. So let's see how it goes. Breakfast is starting soon, and we're gonna take the stuff at that point, and then could take an hour or more to start feeling stuff. But yeah, that's gonna be the rest of the day is the session, and see what happens. Yesterday also, I had that whole huge list of intentions, which has a very clear through line, which I knew before I even made it, but what I am looking for. So had to kind of try to distill it down, and what I came up with was I'm ready to connect deeply. I'm ready to deeply connect. The deeply is key. I'm ready to deeply connect with my self-worth, self-compassion, and self-faith. So that's my intention for what I'm trying to go through with this, and connect with, and see what's inside of me, and try to give compassion to that part of me that is afraid and try to attack me and tear me down because it thinks it's protecting me. In fact, it's only hurting. And to have faith in myself that, yeah, while my memory doesn't always allow me to build things up ahead of time, in a moment, I'll be able to do what I'm doing, and because people have told me over and over again, and really, really deeply find my self-worth. Because when I'm in a good mood, it's not so hard. When I'm struggling, I can struggle. So finding that, so it kind of lasts me when I need it the most too, and other things. And also realizing that maybe I actually do know myself better than I give myself credit for as well, based on just how I'm presenting and able to connect with myself and talk about these things. Yeah, so I think that's good. Certainly one of my greatest weaknesses I've always seen was like my emotional disconnect to a degree, and it's just thoughts, not my body, but although it is my body too, as I'm learning to detect. But the fact that I can talk about all these things without having it re-traumatize me, because I don't really have the emotional recall, which I only realized just a couple of years ago, but but that's connected with the, hey, do I actually feel something? I don't know. But it's also a pretty big strength of mine, because it's exactly what allows me to talk about this kind of stuff without it being a re-traumatizing thing, because the emotions don't come back with it. Whereas I've seen that a lot of other people, they do have that. So this allows me to talk about these things. So it's actually also a very big strength too. Which, even before this, I knew that. It was from the WCA stuff, and then just a way of, talking about things, and good reminders of a lot of times our biggest weaknesses are also our biggest strengths. So, yeah, a lot of good reminders. So I am going to go get some breakfast, and I don't know if I'll make another video tonight. Probably not. It'll depend on what I'm feeling. If I'm feeling it makes sense, or if I feel it makes sense to wait and write notes instead. But yeah, I'm off to a very new experience. See y'all later. Bye. Hey, me and two freakins here. Just sharing my thoughts. Just finishing up the first day of the full sessions, and it's interesting. I'm not sure. I mean, I've already talked with several people about this, processing. During the first part of it, I was mostly just aware of the noises around me. I was pretty still, tensing my leg muscles here and there, and some, eventually I had to go to the bathroom and got up, but I was talking with them, but I I was aware of all the sounds around me. I felt like myself during the whole entire thing. I mean, I never felt like I changed at all or was in a different state of being. Like, I love my dream world. I love my dream world. And when I'm relaxing and just thinking, my mind's always just kind of going places. So when I was lying here, it's like I didn't have anything, didn't imagine anything that was unusual for me. So like sometimes I was even wondering, it's like, am I even experiencing any effects or not? I have no idea. It doesn't feel like it. You know, it's just me letting my mind go where I'm going. I'm hearing other people, you know, just quietly. Sometimes I would wonder, it's like I would hear people having some kind of emotional thing, and I'd be curious, going, it's like, I wonder what they're experiencing, because me, I just feel calm, and I don't feel like connected to any kind of emotion. So I'm like, I don't know what I should be experiencing. I don't know. So like, I have a curiosity about like, oh, I wonder what other people are experiencing, because we're all different, and like a bit of confusion too, going like, what is expected of me? It's like, I'm not sure. But like, that's also how I always am. I've always been curious about myself, been trying to figure out myself throughout my whole life, as far as I can remember, and been confused about myself. And basically this entire day has been, the experience has been, there's been a very, very deep sense of confusion and not understanding and not knowing what it is that's expected of me, not, or even expected, or just what I should be experiencing, or, you know, even if I am experiencing anything, or if this is just me, my normal mind wandering. I had a talk with one of the gentlemen who was helping guide, and I told him what I was experiencing. I was like, I just feel like I'm just an observer and curious and not really knowing what to go. And you know, I didn't feel like I was too much in my mind, because I wasn't cycling through, just trying to experience what I'm experiencing. I wasn't really cycling on specific thoughts, but he did. You know, it's like, yeah, you're still in your mind. It's like, and he helped me. He said, let me. After I used the restroom, he said, he'll you know, if I could, you know, let him do an exercise with me that can help me to go into my body more. He's like, you gotta take that curiosity about everyone else and direct it toward yourself and connect with your body more, because you're still like your thoughts, even if you're not necessarily cycling. And I mean, he didn't say it in those words, but that's the meaning. But I was like, yeah, if we can do that. And he had me lay my hands on my heart and my chest and tell me to, you know, feel myself and feel my heartbeat. In fact, I was never able to feel my heartbeat, which is interesting, because, well, even right now I can't feel it. Oh no, now I can feel it, but but I couldn't really feel it, which is interesting. But he's like saying, like, you know, go into your body, connect with your body, just feel the sensations, feel what your body needs to do, and kind of that kind of stuff. And you know, I could feel like my shoulder was feeling like it needed to move, and you know, he's kind of helping to guide me through some of those things. And saying, it's like, you know, like guiding me, saying, you know, that's I'm doing well and stuff. But the whole time I was, he was telling, you know, connect with myself, and my mind desperately wants to understand, and I really had a deep sense of wanting to understand what was being asked of me, and like what it means to like connect with my body, but not knowing and not understanding, but like desperately wanting to give me what I need, but also not knowing and not understanding. It's like, what's expected? Like, what does this mean? What am I supposed to do? And very deep sense of confusion, which makes perfect sense. This is my life. So like, it's not really a new experience per se. Eventually my body was just needing to move more, and I felt like I just needed to stretch and, you know, let tension out. So I was starting to let that do more as it was going, and, you know, kind of follow my body as it goes. But then sometimes I would just stop suddenly, and I would just go perfectly still. And there was a few times where I noticed I wasn't really breathing, and I would just like not breathe intentionally. You know, never so long that there was a problem, just long enough just to stay perfectly still. And I would wonder, it's like, am I blocking something, or did I just need to rest? And sometimes I think, it's like, does my body want to move more, or should I be calming my body? And so, and sometimes I wasn't sure if I was calming it because I needed it, or if I was blocking when I went calm. Sometimes it felt like maybe I was blocking, but then other times I'm like, I'm not sure. But if my body started moving again, then I would just let it move. I was basically trying to not let my mind overthink. I'm like, hey, well, stay with my body, because that's what you like. Just go with what your body needs. If your body feels it needs to move, then go with that. So I kept going back to that. Like, hey, if it feels like my body needs to move, even if I don't understand it, go with that. And so I would do that, and then sometimes I would stop and go. So trying to make sense of what it is I was doing. There was a few times that I even kind of got like I started rubbing my arms, like got more into a fetal position, and like that felt like there was a part of me that was trying to protect me, but didn't understand what it was that I needed, and stuff. In fact, they came over to me at one point at that time, and they were trying to soothe or something. I'm not sure even, but there's blowing, But so I think that was blocking. But throughout the whole entire thing, very, very deep sense of confusion, trying to understand myself and wanting to understand. And at the same time, clinically knowing it's like, well, hey, it's clear that my body needs to move because I have high energy and I store a lot of tension in my body. So I'm like, well, of course my body wants to move. So this makes perfect sense as far as that goes. And the whole entire time, like, my own mind and my own way I'm looking at it, I'm like, oh, this all just feels like me. It doesn't feel any different. And being aware of this, but so I didn't have any kind of like experience other than I just felt like I needed to move, and I was more, as time went on, I stopped calling myself and just would let myself move more and more, and wherever I needed, in my legs, my shoulders, my back. I'm still been moving the whole time because I just have a lot of stuff that I want to move. It feels good. I would say it never felt like it was like a high or anything like that, because it felt like in relaxed, dreamlike state, which is, if I lie down and like my mind's always doing stuff. I love my dream world. So, but I wasn't really dreaming about things. I'm just trying to understand myself and trying to see like, what's this? Is there more to this? This might just be simply my body needed to let go of some tension, and we'll see what happens in the next one. But it feels good. I'm in very good spirits. I don't know what more to make of it other than there were some times when I did go dead still, and I felt some of that wanting to not be here anymore, because it felt like this is more of the same. Like this is I know exactly where all this is coming from. This is just how I always am. I'm confused about myself. I'm not getting any answers right now. This is more of what I'm always experiencing. So is it really going to be an answer? It's like, if I don't have an answer, it's like, do I even want to keep doing this to myself? But I didn't focus on that. I was just like, okay, I had that moment, and then I let it go, and I then went back to moving my body again. So sometimes it's just like going, am I always going to have this confusion? And I was just talking with Jean, and she had said that, it's like, well, maybe try to tap into what part of you enjoys the confusion, what part of you likes that confusion, and how did you potentially use it to benefit you, and also holding you back sometimes if you get too deep into confusion, which is a good question, because obviously in my mind, the confusion, I didn't find it stressful. I'm like, it's interesting, I'm trying to analyze the confusion while I'm in the confusion and wanting to do what's good for me, but not understanding it's almost like there's like the two parts of me, but I want to be whole. But not knowing how to do that for myself, and not knowing if it even matters, because we're all just trying to get through life and trying to understand ourselves, and life is confusion. It's confusing, so this is just part of the journey. And I should be okay with that. Not should, but we shouldn't shoot on ourselves, but teach myself, it's like, hey, how will this help me to be successful about what I'm doing, and knowing how to build faith in myself, because that's what my intention is. And I brought that to my mind a few times too, going, well, I'm not sure, but like for the moment, my body just wanted to move. So I'm like, let's just focus on that, and just, even if I don't fully understand it, gonna go with that, and let my body do what it wants to do, and not block it with my mind either, even if I'm trying to figure it out. but that's kind of where I am right now. I'm in a very good headspace. I'm in a good mood. I like to move. I have a lot of energy, as you all seen, and everything. And Flooper was here with me the whole time, so Floos, so he's good. And I actually was petting him at some point during it too, and remembering all the people from LMA and WCA and people who have a lot of faith in me, and greatly appreciate it. I felt like they were all there with me, and but that's about all I have to say about the experience for at the moment. Yeah, tomorrow's integration, and the next day there's the second one where they're probably going to give me a higher dose, and we'll see what happens and go from there. So I think that's good. I will see you all later, and thanks for joining my story. This is notes for myself and also to share the experience. Now it's time to go hop down to dinner. I'm hungry. See ya. Love ya.